My loves, we are going to get esoterically very practical today. I want to talk about rituals, and I'm going to give you some rituals. And this is all a lead up to an actual class, a free one, that I'm giving on rituals called 3 Rituals to Make Your Habits Successful, because I believe that habits without soul are going to be crushing, and they're going to give you adrenal fatigue, and it's all kinds of misery, even though you might crush your goals. I'm going to unpack that in a minute. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a handful of rituals that I've used at different times in my life, just really light, simple things. In the class, I'm going to talk more about the psychology around habit making and rituals, and you're going to leave with actual rituals that we have in our heart-centered membership around doing a write and burn and our heart-centering practice and a handful of really beautiful things. And in this free class, this is a new thing I'm doing. I'm doing these free classes for a couple reasons. One is I need to find a way to invite the whole wide world into the Heart Center membership. We have this beautiful community. The membership is about spiritual direction. I do a class every month. Like the most recent class I did was called How to Make Good Friends with Your Anger. It's helping people balance their nervous systems and say sorry to the right people and accept apologies. And anyway, we do really juicy stuff like that. And then I do a spiritual direction coaching call once a month where we also get really beautiful input from the community about what is helping them stay on the path and sleep through the night and think more clearly and forgive the person they never thought they could forgive. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing that class. We also want to extend invites to the whole wide world to come into Membership Pro, which is our mentorship, heart-centered oriented entrepreneurship community. So that's one reason. But what this class, this free class on March 29th, did I tell you the date? It's March 29th. It's a Saturday. I'm doing it on a Saturday because like a third of humanity more can make it on the weekends. This class isn't going to be one of those hype and hook events where like someone tells you, come to this class on the 10 ways to save your marriage. And they just sell you on buying their course about how they're going to help you save their marriage. It's not that. I am so not into those marketing snares. It's a real learning experience. You leave with the goods. The other reason I'm doing these free classes now, I think I'm going to do about 4 a year, is because I love podcasting. Oh my God, I could sit here at my dining room table like I am now with my candles burning and cherry blossoms out my window. I could do this every day, and I am going to do more and more of this in the future, but I love the interactivity of live classes and even the kind of radiance of recorded classes, knowing that, thousands of people are going to listen to it maybe more than once. And when we're live together, we can interact. So live class is happening. Next one coming up, Saturday, March 29th. Go to daniellelaporte.com/rituals, plural, daniellelaporte.com/rituals. And then you get your registration link and we'll remind you of the class and all those good things. Now, let's talk more about our addiction. Is it an addiction to habits? Yeah, I think it is. I think for a lot of us, habits have gone cray-cray. This is what I think. Rituals are very different than habits. I know we can get into the rhythm of things and we say it's a ritual, but we're speaking from the meta level here. Let's just really mince our words and get into the depth of the meaning and really get this right. Rituals are different than habits. Habits, I love them. I love do something for 21 days to create a new habit, to burn a new neural pathway in your brain. Yes, I'm all for it. I want us all to have good and healthy habits, for sure. But let's be clear. Habits are from the intellect. Love it. Love a good intellect. Although intellect has nothing to do with wisdom. You don't have to be intelligent to be wise. That's a whole other conversation. Habits come from the intellect. Rituals come from the heart. It's where I love to hang out. It's where everything changes. It's where the real intelligence is. It's where all the healing happens. It's where all the answers to every problem that each of us has in our personal lives and collectively in the planet comes from the heart center. This is backed by mystics for tens of thousands of years. Anyway, doesn't even matter if there's backup. I believe it to be true. And I'm here on my soapbox to say, rituals are the spirit. Habits are like the science. And for best results, for wholeness, for robustness, for sustainability, for genius, you need both spirit and science, or things get really toxic really fast, as we know. We're living in it. So I think, socially speaking, mainstream speaking, a lot of us have habits backwards. We think that willfulness, sticking to the habit no matter what, do or die goals, please. We think that willfulness can force the results we want. And you know what? It can. But at what cost? You get adrenal fatigue. You get toxic striving. I don't know why I'm doing the accent. You get self-criticism. It's a drag. It's not going to get you where your soul wants you to go. It's not going to get you to peace. You may lose the weight, but anyway, here's my poetic line. Habits without soul are like a garden without rain. It's like you've got these systems, these things that want to grow, an ecosystem, but without soul, without loving kindness, without turning to higher guidance, it's not going to grow in the right direction. There's going to be lots of not growth. When we start out with heart resonance, we feel pure of heart. We feel that the choice, the habit, the goal is coming from our healed self. The part of us that wants the best for us, the part of us that wants us to truly expand. When we start out with heart resonance, then our actions get doused with this really powerful energy. It's called consciousness. It's called love. You want to have conscious habits, not dummy down habits. I say this quote often from Krishnamurti, my philosopher. Lava, discipline is a tool that numbs the mind. You will hear me quote Krishnamurti yet again in our class on Saturday, March 29th, 3 rituals to make your habits successful, because Krishnamurti was all about essentially thinking for yourself. I was going to say thinking for himself. His quote that I've loved and honored for so long because it really put me on the pathless path, as he would call it. Discipline is a tool that numbs the mind. Discipline is a tool that numbs the mind when we do things by rote, when we do things by habit, when it's soulless and disconnected and it's performative and there isn't higher mind in it, then we numb out. We become robotic and disconnected from the true source of power above and within. So there's a cost to mindless habits, and there is so much empowerment to rituals which come from the heart, like prayer, blessings, releasing, honoring, intention setting, chanting, mantra, circle, yeah? We call in the elements, earth, water, fire, ether, sky. We feel alive and invigorated and connected to that which is bigger than ourselves, which helps us conduct the energy in our little lives. We connect to the light, to ancestors. Rituals to call on higher guidance. Rituals to help tap into the all-knowing universal mind. So when you think about it that way, it kind of makes good habits seem a little like trite, a little bit meek, doesn't it? Rituals, universal mind, depth, something with meaning. Rituals are active blessings for your desired outcomes. Don't you want what you want to be blessed? Active blessings, moving, dynamic, alive because you said so. All of that dynamism poured on what you want to have happen. Rituals infuse our actions with meaning. They have you pause. They have you be a little more dignified, don't they? Yeah. They help you pull in divine support. So you're not just praying on the fifth mile that your habit of your daily run and your stretch is going to pay off. Like you bless it in advance. Rituals crystallize your intention. And then after the ritual, you take action repeatedly. And we call that a habit. So let me pause here and ask a question. If I ask you, what habits, good habits, do you have in your life right now? We're just focusing on the things that keep us healthy, wise, and well. Okay, so what good habits do you have? Think about from the time you wake up in the morning, how you start your day. Think about the different lifestyle areas that you have. So habits in your work life, your livelihood, habits in your relationship, habits with your body and your wellness. Yeah, good habits. Okay. Now, what rituals do you have? Do you have rituals that are attached to your religion, your spiritual practice, your family traditions, different seasons? Are they really simple, private rituals, sitting down and reading some scripture in the morning with tea? For myself, I have two altars. I have my mega heart-centered altar. All my heart center members, it's in the hub. It's such a beautiful way to build out your altar. I have a little altar that sits in my living room that is more of a vignette. I don't mind that people see it. Every day since the beginning of the strife between Palestine and Israel, I've been lighting candles specifically for all the children involved in that, specifically for the tens of thousands of Gazan children that have been murdered and lost. And I have some incense there. Rituals. Mistletoe is a ritual. Saying grace before meals, very Catholic way of putting that. A prayer before meals, that's a ritual. Okay, what are the rituals in your life? Now, could you see how you could bless up some of your habits with rituals? If you moved into a kind of deeper spiritual expression to connect with your body and your food, would your habits around your body and your food be different? If you had some ritual that you did around planning your quarterly objectives or your budget or saving money, spending money, managing your money in general, if there was some spiritual anchoring ritual around that, would that change your relationship to your habits around money? I say maybe. Actually, what I really say is highly likely. Let me give you a couple of rituals that are so simple and sweet. Some of these are more exercises, but I did them regularly, so you could say they became ritualistic for me. One of them is called the What I Trust list. You're going to create a What I Trust list. It's a trust ritual. I would do this ritual before any big gig or new big thing. This started for me when I was on an airplane and I was going to a gig and I was nervous about it. And I just thought, I'm just going to grab on to what I know to be true, to what I can trust. So the point of this exercise is to access the trust that already lives within you. So you're not looking for reasons to trust. You're looking for the things that you already trust. So you're going to focus on the present and you're going to be looking for what you trust. You're going to focus on what you are reliably experiencing as true. And then you're just going to do stream of consciousness. You let it pour out. But again, don't include things that you don't really trust or don't really believe in. We're not trying to generate something. We're noticing the trust that's already in our minds and in our hearts. And my third tip for this is if you really got to dig deep for things that you trust, just go to what's glaringly obvious if you need to. Just trust things like, I trust that my next breath will come, right? I trust that the sun will rise tomorrow. There's nothing that's too majestic that you trust. And there's nothing that's too trivial. I think sometimes the most rudimentary things, rudimentary declarations of what you trust can really give you the biggest boost, even if it's a moment where you like really got to grasp for that. So you're going to write out a list, a what I trust list. Depending on how you're listening to this right now, maybe you're cooking dinner, you're going for a walk, you could hit pause, just give yourself a minute. Maybe you just come up with 3 things that you trust for sure, or it's this endless list. You write pages and pages. What I trust. By the way, I would venture to guess this is going to really balance your nervous system. Your breathing will start to settle in. And that's it. That's the ritual. It's super simple. A what I trust list. You could do this walking to work. You could do it every night before you go to bed. Then you ask yourself, what did this ritual bring up for you? What were the shifts, observations, any revelations? Okay. Next ritual. This is the name chant ritual. I learned this in the days when I was working in Galisteo, New Mexico, which is just outside of Santa Fe. I was personal assistant to Chris Griscom, who was running this really incredible organization called the Light Institute of Galisteo, and she was doing past life regressions and future life clearings. It was pretty wild, amazing stuff. And they had a ritual / tradition that on somebody's birthday, they sat the person in the center of the circle and they chanted their name 12 times. It's really an incredible experience to be on the receiving end of this. So this is the name chant ritual. First time I did this for myself, I cried. Just to hear myself sing my own name, to radiate my selfness, my beingness, I found it very moving. It's so beautiful, by the way, to do this on your own birthday. You could do this for babies too. I should do this at my next baby blessing. What you're going to do, so simple. You're going to chant your own name 12 times. And you are going to do it with all the loving kindness and light in your heart and consciousness. You could do it in the shower if you're worried about your neighbors listening in. It's amazing how grounding this is and how moving this ritual can be. And sometimes feel that vibrating of your essence, your isness. Maybe you see yourself as you're chanting. Jane, Dana, David, Leah, William, Harper, Melissa, Danielle. Oh, 12 times. And you just give her. It's like these sonic waves of you and your being met. You and your being met by the love that's always in the atmosphere. It's a name chant ritual, 12 times, give her. By the way, I'm going to be giving you a whole different set of much deeper, slightly more complex, but one really simple ritual when we do our 3 rituals class. And I'm going to throw down a little more about the psychology of habits. So fresh set of rituals in the free class. And then you're going to get digital backup for those. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes versions on all the rituals. But I got one more for you now, maybe 2. Self-drishti ritual. So drishti is a Sanskrit term for focused gaze. It's a yogic practice for focusing toward oneness. And if you fill that gaze as you're looking into your own eyes in a mirror, filling that gaze with love streaming out from your heart center, you are going to experience some very powerful healing. You are the eyes of love gazing on you. Simple ritual. You look into the mirror, you gaze into your own eyes, and you pour love and kindness into your image. You're not analyzing, assessing, scanning for faults. You just press pause and looking for any flaws. Your job is to be your loving parent, drishti, focused gaze, gazing and loving yourself, loving what you see, pouring love on what you see. And maybe you just have to back it up with some verbal. Say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Can you do it 3 times? Can you do it 4 times, 7 times, 12 times, 108 times? Even if, my love, even if it feels forced or false, just keep going. You might resist, you might feel bliss, might feel strange. Either way, you will have done one of the most nourishing rituals that anyone can do for themselves. That's true love. You look at yourself with the eyes of love and you pour it out. Okay, that's the drishti ritual. And then here's a ritual that I do almost every morning when I wake up. This is about connecting to my inner child. I put my right hand on my belly, like my thumb just kind of tucks into my belly button. And then I put my left hand on my heart center. And I ask my inner child, what do you need today from me? Or I might say, how can I support you to come into balance? Or I might say, how are you feeling? Inner child is a term that we use just to describe. It's just a term. It's not about you when you were 8 years old or a little kid. It's a term we use to describe the shadow self, fragments of ourselves, the wounded self, the part of us that is not yet healed. We use the term inner child because it evokes gentleness and care from us. And then coming up with all those visuals of baby D and little J and what's little Billy need and all, it just makes us really responsible. Yeah, responsible and loving. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, before your feet hit the floor out of bed, right hand on belly, it's lower chakra, survival, willfulness, creativity. And then your left hand on your heart center, heart chakra, love, vastness, unconditional friendliness. Dear little me, hey little you, what do you need from me today? And then you listen. And then you do right by your inner child and your shadow self and that part of you that is always trying to get your attention for a little more love, just like that. All right, my love. So that's a taster of this paradigm that if we begin with rituals, we may think of better habits for starters. I think rituals help us access that universal mind and our soulfulness. And maybe the habits that we were going to inflict upon ourselves, we decided, no, we do not need to do that. That is a recipe for self-criticism and cruelty. But habits are a good thing. So rituals first. And then I think the right habits, the loving habits, the expansive habits, which, yes, will take some willpower to stay committed to. I think those emerge. And I think they get blessed with our own intelligence and love, and they get blessed by ancestors and the higher ones that we call upon. And then those habits begin to bless you. Let's keep getting blessed. I hope you will come for the free class. If you can't be there live, of course, you're going to get the recording. It's going to be more of this, but layered, and I'm going to back it up with some things in writing for you. And then I'm going to invite you into the Heart Center membership. I'll give you a lovely deal for spiritual direction. And then we have our membership pro for business mentorship. But either way, it's all free and it's all from the heart. And it's all about finding the rituals that feel like they expand you, not the creepy, obligatory religion hangover things, but the rituals that really feel like they're in sync with who you are today and who you want to grow into, which I hope will be, I know will be, more of you. As always, I'm so glad you're here. With love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.